My name is Rocky Balboa.
All right. Meteorologist Joe Bastardi here. I've got this 3-6 Mafia on behind me. It's a fight. You know, every time I hear this song, and I train to it a lot of times, it's one of my training, I like Whatever It Takes. I love that by Imagine Dragons. I say to myself, you know something, Joe, maybe you're not that old because you actually like this stuff. But I'm going to have that on in the background. My favorite rap song of all times is It's a Fight by 3-6 Mafia. But I'm having it on the background because we got a real weather fight there. I'm rocking Balboa, right? Look at this going on. Basically, folks, over the next 10 to 15 days, some of the coldest late season weather that we've ever seen in the West, and some of the earliest heat we've ever seen in the Southeast. Now, of course, the heat in the Southeast is because of global warming, and this is actually because of climate change. So that's how you play the game, right? You got to understand the rules over here. Precipitation, you see way above normal here in the central part of the United States. That's what happens when there's a fight between the warmth and the fight between the cold over here. So and you're going to have a lot of severe weather in the central part of the United States. Taking a look at the snow, this looks underdone in here, up across the western Dakotas. And we are going to be skiing till July 4th in some of these places, given what's going on with this, the intensity of this trough in the western part of the United States. But wait, there is more. What are these squiggly lines? Well, that's the Madden-Julian oscillation, and I want to show you what it did in October, and this is what tipped us off to Michael developing. Way in advance that we saw the Madden-Julian oscillation come into these favorable phases, right? The favorable phases are 8, 1, 2, and 3, with 2 and 3 being the real big phases that we look at. So we saw that, and now we see the modeling forecasting the same kind of thing it did with Michael. Now, of course, at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, there are different types of things. The water is not as warm at this time of the year as it was. But the fact is, when we look at what was going on, and this is why I got tipped off way in advance of Michael. I was on Sean Hannity's show on September 16th telling him I'd be back in October for a Gulf hurricane. And the reason I got tipped off was because we were watching that Madden-Julian oscillation. And with the Madden-Julian oscillation creating a lot of upward motion in here, we said, uh-oh, look out. So this was the week 2 forecast for the week that Michael came. And here's what the week 2 forecast looks like now. The bottom line is that we are going to have to watch this area and the Western Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico toward Florida here, especially next week for possible early season development. Anyway, that's your weather or not for today, okay? So, you know, we had, I'm rocking Balboa, right? But it is a fight, and that's what nature does. Nature fights all the time. I mean, you know, there's a video of 2 bears fighting in someone's front yard the other day. That's what nature does. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.